I'd known this person for a grand total of 1 hour. And they said that they were in love with me. I had several experiences when I was younger throughout with people professing their love to me. I used to take part in a lot of these inter-school competitions, and there was one at a neighboring school in Mumbai, and I was part of the singing competition. And so I had gone to attend the competition, and there were like a lot of people before me. So one of the people comes and sits down next to me, who I think was on the organizing committee, and he sits down, he sees I have my piano with me, we start talking, and we realize we actually have a couple common friends from other schools, and we start talking everything. And then he helps me take my piano onto stage, I perform, he really enjoys it. I think I ended up winning that competition or whatever, so he was like there cheering and everything. All of this took a span of 1 hour. Then I go back to the classroom we'd been assigned. Like every school is assigned a classroom, basically, in these events. And I was hanging out with my school friends. Next thing I know, somebody says, oh, this guy is here to see you. And I was like, oh, which guy? And they said, this guy who was helping me out. And we go outside, and meanwhile, I see he's there, I'm there, and there's a whole crowd that's gathered around us. And I was like, okay, what is going on? And he says, I need to tell you something. I was like, what's up? He says, I think I'm in love with you. I did not know what to say. I'd known this person for a grand total of 1 hour. And they said that they were in love with me. So I turn around, and one of my friends is laughing hysterically. I'm like, stop laughing, what do I say? And he says, tell him you appreciate it. You can't just say, someone says, मैं तुमसे प्यार करता हूँ. Thank you, I appreciate it. I mean, like, you have to say something. So I think I told him, I was like, that's really nice of you. We don't really know each other, but it was nice to meet you, you know, just like trying to be nice about it. But yeah, it was, I was like, 1 hour? This person thinks they're in love with someone in 1 hour. When I was in college, there were so many guys who were just professing their love left, right, and center during my first month of college. This one kid actually like threw stones in my window, like Romeo and Juliet style, thought he was being cool. There was another one who was like, who serenaded me from, he lived on the 3rd floor, and he was sitting in his window playing guitar and singing to me, which is really sweet. And this one in particular, there was this guy who, I'm going to have to give you all a lot of context for this, but trust me, it's funny context, so it'll matter. So my freshman dorm at Harvard was called Hurlbutt, okay? Very interesting name. And it was thoda dur from all the other dorms, so we felt a little isolated, but as a result, we thought we were the funniest people on the planet. So we would make jokes. For example, I lived on the 3rd floor, so I lived specifically in upper right cheek. We had upper butt and lower butt, that's how we would delineate. And we used to all take this winding staircase down called the large intestine down to the common room called the anus. So I would legitimately text some of my friends in college saying, hey, meet me in the anus, and they knew what that meant. So yes, this is important context for this story. The other context is half of the building was single, as in single rooms, we had shared hall baths, and the other half was suites with a lot of people. And so because none of the singles had common areas, a lot of them would hang out in the anus. The people who hung out in the anus were like a really tight crew. I also see people laughing behind me off camera right now, which is, I understand why. If this is making you laugh or blush, please let me know in the comments, because definitely it's making me laugh. So a lot of people would hang out, and they were very close to the point that they decided to do a screening night of 50 Shades of Grey. So we're watching 50 Shades of Grey in the anus with people inviting their friends. And I joined in one of these screening nights, and I invited this one friend who I think my friend was actually trying to set me up with. So we were hanging out, and then we hear these loud sounds. There was this group of guys who was coming back from some tournament or something that they were doing, and they stopped by our dorm, and one of them starts yelling my name, and he was a friend of mine. I was like, what is going on? So I go outside and I talk to this guy, and he's like, my friend wants to talk to you. I'm sorry I'm not giving names because I'm trying to respect people's privacy, so it's hard. I know you might be confused, you're like, guy. But anyway, so this person, will call him X for whatever, you know, so it becomes easier. So Y says X wants to talk to you. So I'm like, cool. So X comes in, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching a movie. He's like, oh, can I come? And I was like, sure, I guess. I'm pretty sure X was very drunk. We come and we sit down and also watch 50 Shades of Grey in the anus. The next thing I know, he's like, can I talk to you in private? So I was like, okay, sure. So we go to the laundry room, which is right next door, and we go sit in the laundry room, and he is so sad. He starts crying. I'm like, oh God, kya hua? He was a friend of mine, so I was like, okay, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, tell me what's going on. And he tells me a couple things, and he's like, but the last thing you cannot help me with. And I was like, try me. He's like, no, I know you cannot because you don't. And I was like, I don't what? He's like, I love you and you don't feel the same way. I wasn't sure if it was coming from the intoxication or if that's what he felt, or like, it was a lot. And then I didn't really know what to do. So I was like, hey, I know we're friends. Maybe you're thinking a certain away. That's totally okay. In the meanwhile, we've been gone for half an hour, so two of my other friends, they come and check on us. He looks at him and he sees him crying and he's like, things all right? And he's like, yeah. And by this point, they can tell that I just need an out, right? So they go up to this guy and they're like, everything's okay, what's going on? And he's like, I just need to go back to my dorm. So he's like, okay, I'll take you back to your dorm. And this guy's like, no, but I want to be a gentleman. And he's like, okay, what do you mean you want to be a gentleman? I want to go to my dorm, and then walk Avanti back to her dorm, and then go back to my dorm. And at this point, he's like so confused. He's like looking at me being like, do you need an intervention? And he's like, wait, I think you've had a little too much to drink. I'll take you back to your dorm. And then I remember meeting X the next day. He remembered everything. And of course we had a conversation about it. And you know, that's the weird thing and cool thing about love is like, yes, you can say these things, but you can also stay friends after. Like all of these things can happen. Again, I'm saying all of these incidents where it felt a certain way to me. But again, if I had perhaps been in love with a person, it would have been really nice. So it shows you just how much context is required, right? If you're in love, something is cool. Again, these are all sweet gestures, but when you say the word love, like this idea like L is love word, the L word, it's a lot. I just think that we should not take the word lightly, which is why I think we need to just like reclaim the word love and not be so intense about it and be very careful when we say the word. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to check out my other first time video right here on Dobara.